Welcome to the Paranormal Highway. Yes, who's next? Are you next to be abducted by aliens? If you look at me, looks like I've been abducted by aliens. I've been cut, black eye, I mean everything. So it looks like I have been probed. So, oh, hold on one second. I apologize. Got a little volume. So kick back, relax, people. We're gonna have a great show. We have Dr. Wu with us today. He's gonna be jumping on. We got Ron. So we're gonna talk about, you know, if we believe that aliens are taking people, what are the requirements? What are they looking for? And what is this particle that I'm seeing in the internet newspaper world about coming from space, from the dark end of space? We got Ron. Maybe Ron got answers to us about this energy particle that's hitting us. So kick back, relax after the intro, get your popcorn, get your soda, go to the bathroom, get abducted, get probed. I don't know what you're going to do because the Paranormal Highway is about to start.
Seekers of the extraordinary gather round. Betty and Barney Hill were an American couple who claimed to have experienced a UFO abduction in 1961. The incident occurred while they were driving through rural New Hampshire, seeing a strange craft in the sky that appeared to follow their car. As they continued their journey, the craft descended closer to their vehicle, causing Barney to stop the car. They described seeing humanoid figures through the craft's windows who seemed to be observing them. Feeling terrified, they drove away but soon realized that they had lost a significant amount of time. Under hypnosis, both Betty and Barney Hill recounted being taken aboard the craft by the beings, who performed medical examinations on them. Their descriptions of these beings included features such as large wraparound eyes. Betty and Barney Hill's experience remains a significant part of UFO and alien abduction lore. Tell me what you think. Did it happen or just a fanciful story? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.
All right. My brother will be jumping on when he gets on. He has a little internet problem, but he's getting it worked out. So all through history, there have been stories about abductions. I can't tell you for a fact if they're true or not because myself or Ron were not there. We weren't with these people in the car. We weren't even born during the time they were abducted. But there's been stories throughout history that people have been abducted. I think before we get there, Ron, and my brother gets here, I mean, I guess first of all, to have this kind of conversation, you got to believe that UFOs are real from outer space and we are being visited. Because if you don't believe that, then this whole conversation is irrelevant to everybody. But
I definitely believe it. You know, I mean,
yeah.
space is just. I mean, I'm not saying the abduction thing. Like, I want to just be clear. I believe in aliens. Like, I believe there's life forms out there. Space is just too friggin' big, like for there not to be something else. Maybe not exactly like us. The abduction thing, like, can it? Yeah, I don't. I'm not in a position to say no. That's never happened. I think it has happened, or maybe if it's not physical, it's something else. It's hard to separate all the BS out there. There's too much, a lot of people like attention, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I think
problem.
there's people that have been abducted. Absolutely.
Oh, my brother says send me a link. I guess he didn't check his email, or unless I sent him the wrong link. I mean, I've done that because I do have a not a test link, but where
Well,
I
you sent me the link. You sent the link to me to an email you never emailed me at. So I just so happened to go to that email yesterday, and I'm like, oh, okay. So
and yeah, and that's why when I text you, I said, hey, I sent an email, so you know that I sent it to some kind of a email and all that. So Dr. Wu will be coming on. Yeah,
hello,
so you're right.
everybody.
So you're right, Ron. We can't verify what story is true, but if they are here, if they have come here, I mean, they're like the one video I saw a long time ago. The technology is way beyond our imagination if they're able to get here because just like how many years if we're trying to fly from here to Mars, just to Mars, how many years will it take us to get from here to Mars?
Oh, it'll take us like about 8 months.
6-8 months.
That's all.
So
That's all
to
it takes.
get out of our galaxy,
Oh,
our galaxy, how long does it take for us to get outside our galaxy?
well, the we'll never get outside the galaxy because the galaxy is 100,000 light years across. But our solar system, um, let's put it this way: the Voyager 1 and 2, they launched. Let's look at Voyager 2, launched in 1977. Been travel. It took 43 years traveling at 37,000 miles per hour, and 43 years. Then it finally left our solar system. Only our
So
solar system.
so
It
basically,
went interstellar. That's what they call it.
so basically for us to be visited, I mean these things would have to be out of our solar system. I mean, we don't know for sure, but in theory, we think they're outside of our solar system. And to get here in a fast manner, they got to have some kind of technology that's able to travel here like in light speed, like you see in Star Wars or Star Trek.
Oh no, most definitely. Because and what's up, Rob? They yeah, it's like I said, our galaxy, the Milky Way, right? The Milky Way is 100,000 light years across. 1 light year is about 5.788 trillion miles. So
Damn,
it's
that's a lot of
nearly
math.
6 trillion miles is 1 light year. All right. So 100,000 is just our Milky Way, and they now believe there's trillions of galaxies out there. But let's be safe and just say there's a few hundred there's only a few 100 billion galaxies out there, and we're considered a small one.
So how much
there we go.
cereal will it take for Bob to eat to get outside of our solar system? I guess that's the question. How much cereal will it take for
It's
And-
Frosted Flakes.
And
It-
they go ahead, Rob.
Oh no, I was going to talk about Frosted Flakes. Yours is more
Oh.
important. And it was invented to suppress sexual activity. I'm chastity, so I've been eating Frosted Flakes.
You know,
You must have been
anything
abducted
that
last
has
night.
the word flake in it.
I'm
is a little
flaking out.
flake.
Oh, it would take. So we all have to admit it would take some amount of energy for something to get here. So if they're coming here, there's going to be a reason why. Because why, to travel, waste all that energy just to come to Earth to do what, So
Well, they're
like-
folding. They're folding space. They're folding space. They're just doing a shortcut.
Well, for example, Bob, so say there's stories here, right? There's stories of people being abducted. We're not here to say what's true, what's not, because we don't really know what person really has been abducted.
I got abducted.
But I agree with one person. I think I talked about this, that if they're going to come here and they want to breed, or they don't need to have sex with the human, because we have the technology of people having babies without having the D. So that's the same thing with them.
Well, they want our DNA because
They want
each
our DNA,
person's
yeah.
each person's DNA is basically right now. Ron can back me up on this. Right now, they're able to store data on DNA. They've done it. They could store data like an actual like of a movie. They showed a clip of a horse like galloping in the.
You know how you have a USB drive
Yeah,
and you store
Yeah.
data? You can actually
Yeah.
store data on your DNA.
on DNA. Yeah, so when they come here to get DNA, they're basically getting data. So technically, whatever your genetic makeup is or whatever you are, you have stored information, and that's a lot of information because you have ancestors that go way back. So depending on what your information is on your data or your DNA, it's what they're after. Now you got to also consider there's a multiverse too. So if Eric is here in Orion Spur and he's abducted, he's also abducted in Sagittarius. He's also abducted in Gemini. He's also abducted in every other area in the multiverse that he's at. So, stored information, and again, you're abducted more than one place. If that makes sense.
But what do we? How do we think? Okay, if they're here, they're going to be doing this. how do we think they're picking people? I can't just see them picking random people. I think
Families.
they would,
No.
they would have technology to know a healthier
It's generational.
person, probably from a person like.
Well, it's
like, how do they
generational.
choose? You think
I still think that they're
someone else, that's how
generational.
they choose?
Well, it's generational. You know, if your dad's being abducted, your mom's being abducted, you're being abducted. Then when you have kids, they get abducted, and they get abducted, and then your kids get abducted. It goes down the entire. When you do the research for abductees, when you go through the research, and you get right down to the brass tacks, and you find out that their mom is also experiencing abduction, and their dad, and their grandma, and their great grandpa.
I want to ask you something, Bob.
Yeah.
Because like before you got on, Eric had asked me, and I said, yeah, I absolutely always believe there's life out there, no matter what the form it is. And I do believe there's people who have been abducted, and I think there's also people that have nightmares. I think there's people that are just full of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, when I'm asking you because I'm curious, like, so when you say like generational, right? So obviously I know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
But don't you think that kind of like not to bring politics into it, but kind of like you'll have people that vote Democrat or Republican, and a lot of people vote down the family line.
Yeah, they
no
do.
idea. They just go with it. Do you think a lot of this that may be deemed generational is just because, you know, mom and dad or great grandpa had it, and now all of a sudden mentally everybody has it, or they think of something like that? Do you think
Absolutely.
that there's actually aliens that are just visiting people, certain families?
Well, yeah. Think of the aliens as like bees, and bees go from flower to flower, and they get pollen, and they make honey. They're no different than bees, where they and these are doll people. These are not even. They're synthetic freaking AI built whatever human or not human, but whatever's. But yeah, they do it generational, like he's talking about. Now, I always joke about people don't believe me. For some reason, they go like this, la la la. When you do the research and find out all the American presidents right down the line are all Rh negative bloods, straight across the line. There's two different. If you look at the blood, you would have the Republicans are primarily O negatives, and the Democrats are A negatives and B negatives or AB negatives. For example, Barack Hussein Obama, he's an AB negative, and Donald Trump is an O negative. So they abduct specific bloodlines all the way down.
But see, because when I look at that, remember, Donald Trump just became a Republican. He was always a Democrat.
He was always a Democrat, but he's also an O negative. So, but when you...
That's what I am. I'm O negative.
Yeah, you're O negative. So you are on that side. It reminds me of Hogwarts when people ask me, like, I'm talking from an anthropological point of view. This is not conspiracy. This is a fact. They're all Rh negatives. You have the ABs and the A negatives and the B negatives, then you have the O negatives. And it's like, it reminds me of Hogwarts. You have like Slytherin. So basically, if you were to put on the sorting hat, dude, you'd be in Slytherin because you're an O negative. Is
they look for certain traits in a certain kind of blood. And
stored information in DNA.
One family has it. It's most likely their kid's going to have it. Because you record DNA from your parents above.
Yeah. Statistically, if you look at the data, and this is not a conspiracy. This is a fucking data thingy. Sorry about the language. You look at it. It's almost 90% of the people that are abducted are Rh negative bloods. Always. Like, you might have an Rh positive abducted, but they also like you and Eric, you and I'm a negative, you're a positive, but we come from the same mom and dad. So
why is that then? Like the AB. So what do you think the aliens are coming for that for?
Information, genetic information. Now, if you're an AB negative, that means you carry all three. You carry O, B, and A. You carry all three of the data. You've got a lot of data if you're an AB negative.
So that DNA is more data intensive than just anything else. That's the one that holds the most amount of info.
Yeah, lots of genetic information. I mean, you've come from all three, all three different genetic lines. So it's really interesting.
You know what's hard for me watching you, Bob? Because every time I'm looking down, I see myself being scalped by an alien.
I know
on
that
body.
I noticed that.
disturbing.
I didn't realize how that's throwing me off. Like,
Nice six pack, Eric. Eric gives him. He gives himself a six pack. Look at that.
6-pack. The friggin' alien's playing with his bulb.
Right? Look at this guy. Why does Eric have an 8-pack?
do you think they know? In your opinion, like, okay, so say they want semen from the men for the DNA to hybrids, whatever. And say they picked me.
Yeah.
And technically, I got fixed. So my sperm is not like it's not baby for this planet. But you think they know like okay, his sperm has been mixed with. We can't use him because they cut it, or can they like revise it? Maybe.
No, that whole sperm thing. That's just people lying, man. They don't need that. They just need your DNA. They just need a follicle of hair. They just need a lot of abductees will have these weird, strange scars, like the skin was removed, like a little groove in your leg somewhere, or on your. I bet you. Since Ron is
then?
Well, they abduct you.
I'm sorry, Rob. If they're able to, like zip in and out of friggin' dimensions, or like bend space and time, so they could get here in like a wormhole. Why can't they just like go zip and grab some DNA or grab some stuff? Why they gotta abduct and like do all that?
Well,
if they're advanced. I mean, obviously, we're like the pig. They're the, you know what I mean?
They're just they're bees. They're just taking your DNA, and you got to remember, you're talking about the multiverse now. So I'm here in Orion's spur, so the topography and the landscape and everything is different here than the me that's on Sagittarius. So
There's a black hole there too.
Yeah, there's two black holes there. they merged into each other. I'm like, hey, man, you just took my home, man. Anyway, but you got to remember there's multiverse now, right, in the concept. So you're abducted here, but every place that you are at, that's you, in every multiverse, is in a different area. So you're going to have a different set of data. So the data you have in your cells here, Ron, will be a little bit different than in Sagittarius. You see? So they're looking for they're collecting you from all over the multiverse, with different, you got different data from each place.
What do you think the reason why they want our data?
Well, they want our information. Somehow, some reason, whatever the Whopper computer that's running them wants your information, wants Ron's DNA. Stored information.
That's kind of where I was leading with it, is what Eric just said, because I could see studying something or whatever, like maybe bring home DNA so they can make something for the kids. Here's a new toy for you. Go ahead, make something. But other than that, like anything that can travel, because I know we always assume that everything's so super advanced in us, but I think we just think on different levels. But anything that's so super advanced, like what would be the purpose to just go out of the way and do all this for what? Like, I mean,
your immunities. So
where do you get that from, though, Rob? Where do you like that? Because how you're saying it, you're stating it as like fact, right?
Yeah.
And like I like to know. So I'm just curious, where do you get that from?
Well, we do it now. We have this thing called husbandry with animals, and we do it. So I want a stronger cow. So I'm going to mate this cow with this cow to have a stronger cow, genetically. It's called husband. We do it now with fish, with everything. We want the best. So, and the immunities to go with it. So if I have a cow from Africa, and I want that African cow to be able to sustain and live in a cold climate, I'm going to mate that cow with a European cow.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Like just like when they make that super expensive friggin' beef that they massage cows and then they breed them a certain
Yeah.
way so they
Yeah.
marble a certain way. I understand that. What I meant
Yeah.
is, like, I know you have said you have been abducted, and
Yeah.
I am not saying anything against that. This isn't me questioning anybody's source. My thing is like,
Yeah.
because when you say that, is that your opinion, or how do you know that though? That like this is what they're doing.
Anthropologically speaking.
Gotcha.
Anthropologically speaking. Scientifically speaking, they want your immunities. They want all the wonderful packet that you have in your DNA. They want all those wonderful things. So, if they were to make again, they're an African cow mixing with the European cow. So it's got more hair. It can live in this climate and this climate, depending on what climate they want. That hybrid or whatever that is to live, it's going to have your packed DNA. It's going to have all those wonderful things that you have in your DNA package deal. Basically, Ron has. Shoot, he's immune to a lot of things. Let's get his. When I was taking courses for a chemical dependency as a counselor, I learned about a lot of things when it comes down to chemicals and certain biological things in the body. And there was a myth that goes around, and I can't confirm if it's real or not, but it's the Rh negatives don't get AIDS. And I'm like, huh? So I was talking to the teacher, and the teacher said, well, statistically, there is a very low, we don't really seem to have many people with Rh negative blood having AIDS. They seem to be resilient against a lot of disease. I get sick for a day, then I'm fine. My immunities are freaking outstanding. And that's the bonus, man. That's what they want. That. So Rh negatives have a lot more resilience to specific diseases and other things because the cell is. They carry not outside the cell. So basically, compare H positive, which is driving a pickup truck with all the information on the outside, easily be attacked by viruses with problem because all the information's on the outside of the blood cell, as in Rh negatives are packed on the inside like a Volkswagen.
Let me give a disclaimer real quick. People, this is the disclaimer. We're not giving medical advice. I want you to, because I got a strike before with medical stuff before. We are not getting medical advice. This is a theory that Bob's saying there was a pattern. He saw graphs that certain blood types get sick less. So just want to put a disclaimer out there. We are not giving medical advice. Oh, we just lost him.
Yeah, he was breaking up a lot there.
Yeah.
At the end, I heard him. I thought that would happen to him. Robert, if you hear me. Yeah, I don't. There he goes.
I got abducted.
Yeah, Bob, I just put a disclaimer and let YouTube know where we are not giving medical advice. These are just theories that you saw. You saw not evidence, but that people with certain blood types got sick less. Let me ask you this. Now, there's a theory that part of the reason, again, this is a theory that I was reading about, that one of the reasons they're trying to create some hybrids because the world in a certain amount of years, not saying because of climate change, not saying that we're causing it ourselves, but the temperatures do change on planets over time.
Yeah.
So part of the hybrid that they're using our DNA is so they can adapt
better to the environment,
to the earth, to more heat, more cold.
Yep.
Not saying we're causing it. We probably are, but we don't exactly know exactly how the Earth atmosphere is in 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 1,000,000 years. You know what I mean? So you think that's part of the reason why they're using.
Remember, we were kids, Eric. Well, we were kids. Yeah. Well, like we were kids. Me and Eric were kids. Our dad was funny because we'd get sick, and my dad's like, "Oh man, congratulations." For what, Dad? You've got it. You've got the bug. So that means you're going to get the immunity for it. Congratulations. Sick, Dad. I won. Her dad was always home.
Up pretty bad. Bob,
God,
you're breaking up pretty bad.
Congratulations. Rick and I had to go play with chicken pox. Then kids. Well, yeah. It's with kids with chicken pox.
You're breaking
and
up.
the moms and all nasty things. Oh,
hey, Bob, you broke up. Half
Breaking
of
up
that
bad.
stuff.
Yeah, sometimes.
Half of that
Am I
stuff.
here now?
You're not moving at all. You've just been frozen.
Am I still here?
in place the whole time.
Bob, I'm going to kick you out and rejoin. See if that fixed the connection.
I am.
If
I'm
not,
going to kick
reboot
you
your
out and you
router,
just come
dude.
right back. Let's see if that fixed the connection.
Look
Sorry
at my
about that.
car.
It happens with internet connection.
Look at all the bird crap on it. Now there's birds fly like 1,000 feet up. They always get the thermals, and they find my car every friggin' day, every day. They don't like my car.
No, they're giving your car their DNA.
Yeah, they could keep it. You know.
We need Dr. Wu back because somebody's asking Dr. Wu, what happened on December 21st, 2012? Is that the calendar?
Funny, what Martin's saying there, but what you were just saying, I just seen yesterday. I was watching, that channel, the Y Files.
Yeah.
And he just did an episode called Through the Looking Glass. And he was actually addressing this stuff, what we're talking about. And I didn't watch to the end because I'm starting to think more and more that channel is a disinfo channel in a way. Believe it or not, it has great stories, but at the end, it's always like, nope, like, don't be an idiot, like that. But anyway, he was talking about that with 2021, and they said that it happened. Hey, Dina, how you doing, sweetheart? Sorry, when you see me like this, looking down, I got your StreamYard up over here, and then I have the other stuff over here. You don't forget to remind me. I was just reading this morning, Eric. Remember before when you started your show, you said, where is it here?
About particles from space?
Yes.
This is because I got this article
right here.
I'll just bring it up. I'll just bring it up, and then this is what the article is saying.
Right
what
there.
The heck is going on? Extremely high energy particles detecting falling to Earth.
What? An extremely powerful cosmic ray hit Earth, but they don't know where it came from. Actually, that's wrong. What's freaking them out is there's big. Let me get the numbers for you. It was 240 exaelectron volts, or it's heavy power that would like light this earth up for millions of years, right? So there was a heavier one in 1991, but this recently, when this hit Earth, this cosmic ray, what's bugging them out, scientists, is that when they traced it back, they were able to trace back where it basically came from. The problem is where it came from doesn't generate any energy at all.
Huh.
So they're like, okay. So that's basically like putting a light bulb in a lamp and it comes on super bright, but the lamp's not plugged in. So that's where they're scratching their heads right now going, whoa. So that's it. And then we got some, then we got some nasty, can I show you something, Eric?
Yeah.
Here, let me see something. Oh, I got to get out of full screen so I can share. Let me just see some share screen, window, this. Yeah, let me make this bigger. Right there. This is an animation of what it looked like. Like that hitting us.
Ooh.
But we have some potential not so good news coming up too, which I'll be probably throwing up a video later on tonight over it. But
Can you hear
the
us, Bob?
Solar Max that was supposed to happen in 2025. Then they said now it's going to be summer of 2024. Well, now they just moved that up to maybe January of 2024. And Solar Max means...
Bob and I was talking about this earlier this morning about this particle. But since this particle did hit us, do we know if it caused issues with the Earth?
No, but the thing is, I don't know if this was just something that just hit. Let me see something. Because I don't think this is something that just happened. I think this was from 2021. And they're trying to figure it out. Now, I'm sorry for the fast scrolling, but they tend to do that. It's not trying to mislead anybody, but when science, in science, a lot of science, when they're investigating it and getting their peer reviewed and all this kind of stuff, it takes years sometimes.
Yeah.
So after all the studying, I think this happened in 2021, and I think they just realize now what exactly it was. But that's the thing that's concerning them is, like I said, that where this came from, they traced it back to where it came from, but the problem is the lamp light bulb theory. The light bulb, it goes on, but the lamp's not plugged in. So wherever this came from is not generating any energy, and not even nowhere near any energy to even do something like this.
Right.
So that's why
so
I say we don't know. You know how they say we use 1/10 of our brain or something like that? That's what we think. We don't know. I don't think like a tenth of what's really out there like that. We really don't know. But one thing is for sure, there's some power out there. Space could be beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, because we make it look beautiful. Space is bad.
It's nasty.
It's bad.
And this is just a theory. What if this light or this particle that hit us is some kind of a test from an alien form to see how they could travel here faster? I don't know. Like
what if that's them coming through the wormhole right there?
It could be.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Those particles come. They're hitting us. They're hitting us. Everybody here. They say, well, according to what they're measuring, it's like 100 times stronger than the CERN freaking smash particles. This thing is pounding us.
There's billions of neutrinos going through everything every moment, every day.
Yeah.
Like going through us right now, billions of neutrinos just flying through us.
Yeah.
Like that. So, but who knows? But the thing is, it's scary, but I think about this because you have to remember looking at something, even though this is an animation, like, when you see on the sun, when we see actually live shots of the sun. Well, there may be a time delay, but it's actually a live shot, close as we could get it. And we see, when you see these solar flares, these pop because they're winding up so much that after a while they just snap.
Yeah.
When we see those and we're looking at that, it's like, whoa, like, okay, it actually looks cool and everything. But that friggin' one thing that's sticking out is actually probably 50 million miles long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like probably 100 times the size of the Earth, that one length. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
Like
which is really, here's something kind of cool though. In fact, Ron, you're the one who gave me the information on this, which I thought was really cool, was the unusual volume of satellites and debris around the Earth right now. And of course it's gold. They're made of gold. You have to have gold, right? And gold is only made in the heart of a sun. So, it's ironic. Now, I'm only saying as just saying it. It's ironic that all of a sudden we have all of this stuff around helping. Is it there to protect against these particles? We have so many of these gold
Yeah.
bounces, and when you do that map, dude, when you do the map, when you show all the objects up in space, I'm like, wow, isn't that
Well,
look like a shield?
well, that's the thing. When it comes to our atmosphere, right, our magnetic field and everything, it protects us against a lot, especially
Yeah.
like if it wasn't for that, like when you hear a lot of these people out there screaming that our ozone layer is basically gone and this and that and the sun's no. If that sun was getting through, truly getting through, we'd be
Oh,
dead.
we'd be
We
dead.
would be dead. The amount of
done.
radiation is
Yeah.
amazing.
But it is
Um,
ironic that we have all them objects up there right now, specifically around the time we have all these CMEs coming in. Bam, one after. I've never seen I've worked in aerospace. I ain't never seen so many CMEs coming at us. I'm like, another one? Like another one? And another one. And these particles are coming at us in another direction. And so we're getting pounded. And it's kind of interesting that you would bring up all them objects up there. Now, I would think that in a hypothetical situation, if I were NASA and say, hey, dude, we're going to be getting hit by a lot of these solar flares and all this weird particle stuff, we need to start launching some things up there to make an artificial, to help, not to help our magnetosphere. So I'm like, oh,
That sounds like the movie Geostorm, right?
right?
Where they create
I
weather.
understand where that's coming from, and that can probably be something. But the reason why I don't think that's what they're doing is the reason of like even this right here. Like the other day, I just have the article somewhere. The ISS once again had to dodge out of the way of a bunch of junk
Yeah.
like that, just again, because it keeps getting hit all the time. It's getting hit with pieces of debris. So they passed this. Well, it's not law yet, but the Senate passed it 100%, right, unanimously, and it's the bill to clean up the space junk. But what it's going to do is, now whether it's going to do anything, I defer to the ESA. They get things done more, I think, but they're going to direct the Department of Office of Space Commerce to publish a list of debris that poses the greatest risk to orbiting spacecraft. Because right now, this isn't just about our little weather thing or whatever. They're looking at the next line of big business is LEO, low Earth orbit. That's
Yeah.
where the business lane's going to be. So now they're starting to panic because things are getting disrupted, and this throws a wrench in their whole business model. So now they have to finally do something about the junk.
It's kind of funny. How will they do it? A giant Hoover?
That's a lot of gold up there. Wasn't there
that
a movie?
Spaceballs.
well,
They use a vacuum cleaner to suck out
well,
the air.
Remember Salvage One? Remember that TV show Salvage One? That guy builds his own rocket, and he's a salvage guy. He wants to go up there and get all them satellites because they're covered in gold. Lots of precious metals.
But the only thing's funny is like this cleanup. but once we want to clean up, aren't we sending still, Ron, like 20, 30 satellites a month? I mean, how do we clean up when we're sending
Look at
just
30 a month. It
Well,
just seems
here's
kind of.
something. Here, I'll show you something else. What they're looking to do. Let me see something. Is it this one right here? Here we go. This
Yeah.
is what they're looking to do. Right. They want to launch the first wooden satellite in 2024.
A wooden satellite.
A wooden satellite, right? Like that. And no, but the reason is because look, it says the a coffee mug sized satellite made from magnolia wood is set to launch into Earth's orbit by summer next year. It said wood doesn't burn or rot in the lifeless vacuum of space, but it will incinerate into a fine ash upon the re-entry.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah. It's cool. That's actually smart.
that is a thought, because the thing is, you know how I look at this, what happens with this space debris, besides the like, some other generation will have to deal with this, is I'm sure 99% of us have had sunflower seeds, right?
Oh yeah.
And you get hooked on that. You just one after another.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Our body starts loving the salt, and we're just going off, right? So if you're sitting outside, you're a kid, right? Now, I was a little dirtbag, right? So I would take some and fill my mouth up with them, go crack them, eat one, and go spit it out, right? So next thing you know, you get yelled at, don't make a mess. Nah, there's only a couple there. And then like 5 minutes go by, you're spitting more out. Now you got more. By the time you're done, wherever you were sitting, that whole thing out there is just full of sunflower seed shells, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's what's happening in space. It's a corny analogy, but that's what's going on. But this right here, and if you notice, they're focusing, and I'm sorry, Eric, I'm not trying to take over here on
Oh,
this.
it's
Sorry, but
Yeah.
is if you notice, they're concentrating, which I'm happy about, is on space junk and debris, and they're talking a lot more about asteroids.
Oh
And-
yeah.
And there's a reason for that, because they've had a long time to talk about it and do something, but now they're stepping it up to do something, which says something, But this is what I was showing you, and while I'm at it, let me see if I can show you something, Eric. Hold on. One more thing. I'm just curious. Let me open this real fast. Oh wait, I could have just shared. I still had it in. I'm an idiot. Sorry.
I want to build it. I want
Look
to
at
build a
this.
1950s rocket.
Bring that up.
Let's see.
Tell me what you think this is. Look at it. Now, normally somebody
Bigfoot
else.
footprint.
Yeah, somebody would say a Bigfoot footprint. And I'm
Bigfoot.
starting to really think that Bigfoot is not really bipedal. I think he has one leg. It's a one-legged species, because you always find a footprint. You know what I mean? But so what this is from this. It was a SpaceX rocket debris that landed in a man's farm in Washington.
Oh, that's my neighborhood.
Oh
Right?
wow. When the hell did that
Yeah.
happen?
Exactly.
When the
All
hell
right.
did that happen?
It left a 4-inch dent in the soil. So when a lot of people, and no, I'm not saying that to you, chat. But whenever I post asteroid videos, I always get the people, when I talk about an asteroid that's 14 feet, I always get the people that say, that'll just burn up in the atmosphere. It does not always just all burn up. It just doesn't. It's not true. So with this thing, this was a tank that stored helium and pressures of nearly 6,000 psi.
Wow.
So this farmer just chilling, and this happens.
Yeah, I'd sue Elon Musk.
No, but here's the thing. This is just what's been reported, but you got to remember the majority of the Earth is covered by oceans. So every day there's some form of debris, and I'm not saying that out of my butt. If I give me a few, I could find it somewhere where I've read it on the studies that every day there's a piece of debris that's hitting Earth.
Oh yeah, especially Antarctica. That's where they go hunt all those things, because it hits the surface.
Yeah, and we have over 300. I think it's 300 million tons a day of space stuff, whether it's dust or whatever. And the thing in Antarctica, the majority of times is meteors, but this space junk stuff, it's a friggin' problem. And
Yeah.
that's why they went into this thing.
I've seen a lot of that at the Museum of
here,
Flight.
Look, this is even more on that. Over the past 6 years, that's what they planned on doing that. Like Elon Musk and his competitor OneWeb, they're going at it, and they're launching satellites every 3 days.
Yeah, I don't know how.
And look, it says there are currently 8,000 satellites in orbit, but when they say 8,000, that means functioning satellites. not counting the dead satellites, the decayed satellites, not the junk and this and that. That's not counting that, because I could bring up that chart and it'll show you all this stuff. But I wasn't prepared for this. It looks like I was, because I'm pulling up the links I threw in a folder for this show. But the ESA, the European Space Agency, they're actually getting busy. They just built this thing that it's an arm that not just grabbing satellites, but is grabbing stuff now. They're looking to plan. They're just working it out. But we need to. It's bad up there.
Yeah.
It's real bad up there.
Do you got to get a permit to send a satellite up in space?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But I start thinking about it. But why? Who owns the space? I mean, who should I get a permit? The United States owns that part of the space?
No, it's an international thing. Let me find that for you. Let me see something.
I'm just curious. Like, and if that item, Bob, you weren't joking. Like if that item crashed onto my house, to my site, and I found out that item is from Elon Musk company, couldn't technically I sue that company, or is it because it hit space, it's open game, they can't sue anybody?
Well, Elon Musk is magic because he's got a car on the way to Mars. It didn't catch fire, or the tires didn't melt, or the dash is perfectly fine, and everything's freaking. Even the fluid in the vehicle is not boiling at all. So I'm thinking about taking up a town and country minivan up into Mars, man. I'm going to take a van up into space, and I'm going to fly it like him.
What was that movie where it was a punk movie in Australia, and they're like, if a satellite crashed.
Oh yeah, Dogs in Space. Dogs in Space. Yeah.
Well, they took the TV, they burnt it on
Skylab.
fire, and they went on top of a rope and threw it down.
Skylab.
Skynet.
Skylab.
There you go, Eric.
I want pieces of Skylab.
Before a satellite is launched, a nation state must file its proposed satellite system with the International Telecommunications Union to coordinate radio frequency spectrum on behalf of the satellite operator. So you can launch. It's not like they're gonna deny you. I could build something as long as I could get into orbit and put something up there. They can't tell me no. Space is not claimed. Right? It's kind of like the international waters type of thing.
Yeah.
But depending on the function of it, you do have to go through certain things because of that one thing, the radio frequencies, because they want to know, because I think up there you're more near the HF signal and everything. So, but is where you're going to put it. Like, so here, are you going to be in the way now of this company that this government signed with the geosynchronous, the GPS satellites and this and that? So everybody can launch, just like the balloons.
Yeah, I want
to do that next year down here. I'm going to do that. I want to send up, I'm going to put a GoPro and I'm going to send up a weather balloon, try to get it up 100,000 feet up. So you can do that if you want. You could put something in space, but that's the part. And that's, to me, still, it's reasonable to ask that. But any kind of so-called red tape on it, to me, is bullshit because, excuse my language, because nobody's in charge of space.
Yeah.
Space not claimed.
I'm going to launch a Winnebago, and I'm going to tow a Jeep. So I'm going to go straight to Mars with a Winnebago, because there's no vacuum now. The Tesla car has proved that there's no vacuum and nothing. There's no problems with getting a car into space. Look, so I'm going to get a Winnebago.
I think this is from the ESA, Clear Space One, right? It's a space debris cleanup target in orbit just got struck by space debris. So this thing, see this from the ESA? See that?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes, the ones that capture things. Yeah, I think China has.
And they're looking to do it. So the thing that's supposed to clean up the space debris just got hit by space debris.
Like a damn daddy long legs. Looks like a spider.
I know, doesn't it?
Like a spider in space. Yeah, we're gonna build one. We need a GoFundMe account so we can have our own. I want a 1950s rocket. I want, like Elon has, and I want to go up there and get stuff.
Well, they let me see something here. Sorry. I kept that up too long. Sorry about that, guys.
No.
If you're
What-
alien race, couldn't you? If you're an alien race with great technology, they could probably use all these satellites to get information from us, since the
Yeah.
satellites are spying on us, right?
Well, I don't think they travel space. They go interdimensional. So basically, they just go to the side door. They don't go into space. I mean, they just fold space and then show up. There's no reason to be in space with that kind of technology. You could just fold space and just show up. Like, I could just fold space and go to China. Just fold it. I don't need to drive to China or fly a plane. I'll just fold space and be there. You know, I mean, with their advanced technology, they even have that superstructure that everyone's been buzzing about for a long time now, and it surrounded an entire sun. I'm like, wow, they built a superstructure to capture their own sun. Imagine that advanced technology. I imagine they could fold space. I think space is becoming, I mean, I like it. It's fun. I worked at Aerospace Museum. But technically it's obsolete because it's just an empty space. Why would you want to go into some place like Ron says? It's horrible. Why would you want to go into a vacuum with nasty ass particles everywhere and debris? And they just fold the space.
If the plus the minus 250 degrees Celsius doesn't get you, then the plus 350 degrees will get you. And if that doesn't get you, then you'll just get the highest dose of radiation you ever got.
Right, you just got
And if you so happen to survive all of that,
yeah.
now you're going to have to deal with all the little micrometeoroids that are piercing you every second, or then get hit by the big ones. Like that, right? So
Yeah. That's why I always joke about the Tesla car. As I've changed my own brakes, and I had to redo the packing grease with all the bearings, all that heavy grease. And I imagine them tires facing the sun. Them tires would blow up like a shotgun with the with all the bearings flying out of that heat, and the tires would melt, and the dash would melt. I'm like, wait a minute, man.
when you put this on big for a second, I know a lot of people know this. I know you guys know it, but I just want to show them so I can explain. So for those that don't know, when they talk about going through the wormholes and going through space, like warp and all that, right?
Yeah.
So you'll have point A and point B, right? And I know a lot of you have seen this already. Hold on, let the light clear this out. Let me see something. Right.
Okay,
So
there it is.
anyway,
I
I
see
know
the A,
it's
I
light,
see the
but we
B.
got A and B. So going straight across from A to B can take many hundreds of years, or whatever it may be, a very long time. But if you went like this and took space and folded it, and then went A to B like that, then you could go like this and punch you right through it.
Yeah.
If you fold space time. So now that eliminates that whole long travel. You just bend space time and just pop in and out of where you want to go. So that's it. So that works
Easy.
a lot better to me.
Easy peasy.
I want to ask guys this.
Yeah.
Not a theory, but actually, at the end of my show, I always put these little shorts as a beginning, ending, and there was a comment inside of a short that I'll be showing at the end of the show, where somehow they're saying that, isn't it weird how more cows, that's what it said, more cows have been abducted than humans. And at first I'm thinking, well, first of all, how do we technically know that for sure, that cows have been more abducted by aliens, if you believe that every story is true? But they're making it sound like that they can learn more from a cow than almost any other animal on Earth. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, because cows are bovines are amazing, because bovines, now people don't realize this. Bovines are a species that were adapted to grass the way no other species has ever adapted, because grass itself is the most amazing plant ever, because it has an apical meristem, which means it has an unprogrammed cell at the base of the grass. And so the bovine's teeth they flush in the face like the horses and everything, and they eat grass without disturbing the apical meristem. You understand? Cows are brilliant, as in their adaptation to the environment when it comes to grass. And basically, we all love to eat cows. So cow is like a gift from God, man. So if I was an alien and I wanted to pick a species that had adapted to the environment the way any other, the most amazing, cows. And people are like, nah, man, I never thought of a cow like that. I'm like, nah, cows have adapted, bovines have adapted to the environment like no other animal.
They give us milk.
It gave us
protein.
milk, vitamin D, proteins, everything.
Nikes.
Shoes, clothes, bone marrow.
And they're thugs. They like graze during a tornado. So.
And they're intelligent. Well, more intelligent than people give them credit for. So if I were an alien, I'd be like, I'm going to abduct an animal. I'm going to choose like a cow. Because of their biological adaptation to the environment is so amazing.
And one thing, see in the chat, Eric, Griff, what Griff's saying. Exactly, Griff. That's my point on a lot of the stuff. When we talk about abductions, when we talk about this alien life and this and that, it's just all speculation.
Yeah, we don't know.
That's all it is. It's all speculation and theories. Now, that's not to take away from people's experiences, because just because you can't prove something doesn't mean it's not there. And it works the other way around too. All right.
True.
So I just don't blindly believe things. And just because somebody has a reputation and says something that they got to be true. No, like everything is all theories and speculation. That's all it is. That's what we got. You know what I mean?
Like here's an article that according to the article, these are the 6 most famous alien abduction stories. First of all, they have to be true in the first place, and that's something we just don't know if these stories are even true. Like here's part of the 6 here.
Visual evidence.
The Curson Alamazal abduction. One of the stranger alien abduction cases came from a light fairly recent and became famous because the person making the claim was a very high-ranking official. This former and longtime head of region of Kamkia in Russia, noted for this love of cheese and efforts to make a region prime local for championship tournaments, claimed on a talk show in 2010 that 13 years earlier, these had been abducted by space beings, being described the craft as semi-transparent, half-tube, occupied by human-like creatures in yellow spacesuits. Even stranger, he claims his meetings with beings weren't for scientific experiments, but for more meaning of interstellar minds. To boot, he revealed that aliens are responsible for bringing chess to Earth.
Now, ask that person, right? Now, first of all, a high-ranking official, you gotta believe them, right? Because they wear clean uniforms and have awards on their chest. They gotta be telling the truth.
Yeah.
But aside from that, right? When they say something like that, my question too is, prove it, right? Now, it's not me calling them a liar, right? Because maybe they experienced something, maybe in their brain they've seen something or thought something or whatever, so they're not just straight out lying. They're just, But my thing is, when they say that, just like when we talk about the Greys, right? And here,
I'm jerking off Eric.
just talking about like the Greys, right? Like these guys, see them? See the Greys?
Yes.
Right? Now we
I like
talk
that.
about these. We talk about these guys, right? Like but we talk about them. I'm guilty of it. Talk about them like when you going shopping in the mall, like they're just walking around. That's how we talk about them. Like it's just that it's been talked about so much that now it's just part of everything. So just that guy with that they brought chess to Earth. I would like to just say, how do you know that? And please show me
the evidence.
like that.
Right.
Not just like, I heard or
even
it's
if the aliens
obvious,
had
or no, that doesn't work.
You're right. Even if aliens had a board game of chess up there,
Well,
it doesn't mean they invented it.
Well, I don't know, man, because I'm here and I used to play chess in the United States Navy, and I was the big winner of all kinds of tournaments and stuff. Anyway, I used to checkmate the queen in chess, and in this reality, you've always checkmated the king to win the game. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
Well,
so I don't know. They brought it wrong then, because it's all wrong.
Now, here's number 5. Number 5 is I'm surprised they didn't put number 1 or number 2.
Freaky Geek, how about if I say, can you prove it? Does that work better?
Yes. Can you prove it?
Like number 5, they put the Travis Walton story. I'm surprised they didn't put that higher, since that's because there's a movie. It's one of the more popular cases out there.
Yeah.
So like Bob, I'm not gonna read a story. You saw the movie. You saw all that.
Yeah.
What's your feelings on the Travis Walton? You think he was truly?
You don't want to know what I think. No, I think them guys. I think them guys are on the down low. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I think old Travis and those guys are on the down low. Down low. If you guys, I mean, I don't want to put down anybody's sexual preference, but I think these guys, they planned on offing him somehow, and they left him out there to be dead, and all of a sudden then they realized that he ain't dead. He came back into town and he did a big hush hush. All right, guys, I know you tried to kill me, but we're gonna play this off like I was abducted by aliens. Because here's the thing. Here's the biggest question I have for anybody that's been abducted. I myself got. There ain't no bathrooms in a goddamn spaceship. Now you gotta take a dump, take a leak somewhere. You're not gonna piss in a corner of a freaking round spaceship on the inside. There ain't no bathroom. So how's this guy up there for like all this time? He didn't go to the bathroom. Like I look at the obvious stuff. Like, okay, you were on a spaceship, and I always ask the hard questions. What did the toilet look like? And they're like, I didn't see a toilet. So you were up there for 7 days and there wasn't no toilet? Okay, wait a minute, man. It's like when I see people, they talk about seeing Bigfoot. I say, okay, cool, man. What do the genitals look like? Because I look straight at the, holy shit, he's not circumcised. I'm looking at the obvious. I ask the hard questions. What does the toilet look like? Well, there was no toilet. I was laying on a table. And you didn't have to take a leak the entire time? Well, they had tubes in me. Well, you ain't gonna be sitting on a table. Well, they got bedpans?
Technically, that is an
Aliens
interesting
have
question.
bedpans?
That is an interesting question to ask each person who says they've been abducted. How long have they been abducted?
How long were you abducted?
4 or 5 days.
And how?
Because some stories, people have been abducted for an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
day. Why is it so different?
Did the aliens? It must have bedpans. They must have bedpans.
I also love how, because this was a question I tried to get in, right? Like, it's been brought up with that Travis Walton about like the radiation and the soil. Yes, we took samples. Where is the results? Oh, it's in
Where's
my
the
house.
results?
Have you seen it yet? And any document that somebody goes here like that doesn't mean crap. I could go right now and make you a document from the White House if I want, like that.
Yeah.
And like, to follow up, where did you take a sample? Do you know there's radiation in nearly almost everything?
Everything.
Everything like that. And did you check here? Did you check also 80 feet away? Did you check 20 other trees in a 300-foot perimeter? Like, what? Oh, you just checked this. But then again, yes, I have it. We ran it. It came back positive and everything. So confident. That's what a con man is. It's called a confidence, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I got it in my house. Where is it? Where is
It's so
it?
funny, Ron, that you
Where is
said
it? It
that.
hasn't showed up. You notice that? And then you got people that, they know them or whatever and everything. And just because of that, now all of a sudden this guy's God and
Yeah,
so believable. And
they tried to
Ron-
kill that
Ron-
man.
Ron
They
is
tried to kill
correct
that man.
Because I'm not going to name the people who I saw did interview, and they asked him, because Travis wants said that I have it, and well, can I see it? He said, yeah, I'll show it to you. Never hear back from that at all. Like, when David Grush was up on the hearing, when he says, "Oh, I'll tell you after the hearing." After the hearing, they never talked. So it's like you're right. Ron's like saying there's a pattern of all these people
Yeah.
making these claims that I have this, I have that, and they say, I will show you, I will talk to you. And then later on, you find out a week later, well, did you finally get to see it? No. Well, did Grush actually have that meeting with you guys behind the scenes? No. But they say it on air when people ask. So it's like,
Yeah.
And the
how are you
bottom
supposed to
line,
believe them?
but
I
the
don't believe
bottom
'em.
line out of all of these things, right? Whether it's Travis, Gus, this or that, the other thing, even myself, even if something that I've seen, it's at the end of the day, it's all just words.
Yeah.
It always ends up with just words. And if they do show you a picture or a video, it's so pixelated. You notice that you can never clearly state something and just clearly state, no, that's a bear. No, that's this. No, that's an airplane. No, it's always got to be so pixelated. Always.
Always.
But meanwhile, like that's why I told you with that crap of a show that I'll never watch again, the Skinwalker Ranch, right? These guys got these ARRI cameras, right? That when they could zoom in. You ever watch like a baseball game and in the middle of the inning they zoom in on the moon, right? And it's like they're showing you see all the details in the craters. That's how strong these cameras are. But in Skinwalker Ranch, what happens? They stay on that dick, Travis Walton, or not Travis Walton, sorry, Travis, not you, that doctor guy, Taylor dude, whatever. And he'll go, oh, look, UAP. And the camera stays on his face. They look up at a white dot for a split second and then go back looking at this moron looking up. Meanwhile, with those cameras, they can zoom all the way in.
Yeah,
all the way in and get a
easily.
good shot, but they don't do it.
I want to bring this up because Dogman wrote, if I said I was God, would you believe? Of course not. Dogman, there's some people out there that will say they're God and they have followers that will believe
Fuck yeah.
he is God. There's
They'll
people
walk off the cliff.
that will believe whatever you say.
Follow me off the cliff.
All through history, people follow people. They're the second Messiah. They're the third Messiah.
Diamond
There's
doesn't know.
people that do follow people. It's crazy. We think they shouldn't. Even if you say you're God, there's gonna be people saying, you know what? He is God.
Yeah,
This number 4 case here. Now, this
I am
number 4
God.
case
Here, drink the Kool-Aid. Here,
is
have
the
some Kool-Aid.
Allagash Waterway abduction.
A bunch of
Most data
bullshit is
abduction
out there.
stories, whether they remain credible or not, usually are missing an important element to tie it all together. This famous case of 1976 involved 4 men who claimed to experience the same abduction. A secret they almost took to the grave. Really?
Ooh.
Did they figure out that there's money to be made? I don't know. The men were fishing in a canoe in northern Maine when they saw a gleaming UFO with an 80-foot diameter and changing red, yellow, and green colors. According to the men, the UFO swooped down and beamed them up their canoe into a blinding light. They came to several hours later, not remembering anything after their abduction, but began to have frightening nightmares. They all underwent hypnosis and revealed their kidnappers were not from Earth. All of the men also took lie detector tests about their claims of past. Now, I talked about hypnosis, and I said if you're doing a hypnosis, you need to record the person who's giving you the hypnosis because they can feed you memories. They can.
Yeah.
They can lead you to think a certain way. So hypnosis is not guaranteed to be true.
Well, when you look at the reports, if you actually look at the abduction paperwork, the majority of them, 99.9% of the people who are abducted, they're in their own freaking house. They're in the city. They're in places. They could be in a grocery store. You know, I mean, and all of a sudden you get these ones that stand out and they're in the middle of the forest. A bunch of men all together, just hiding out together. All of a sudden they're abducted. I'm like, seriously, dude? Seriously, are you guys like gay and just like having a little bit of a man time out there, and all of a sudden you get caught, and now you're making up stories about being abducted so the wife don't get jealous?
They all woke up naked, spooning
each other.
Oh shit, we got to come up with. Let's just say we were abducted.
Right, that's what I hear. Okay, guys, we got to come up with a story.
And hey, maybe these 4 men were abducted. We don't know. We weren't there, but
And that's the other flip of it.
Yeah.
Just because I don't believe Travis Walton or this, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. But that's the point, is that, like me, right? I think he's full of it. But
Yeah, I do too.
can't say that 100% because I just don't know. But then you got people that will, because it's a friend or the guest or it's this or that, now it's 100%. No, he's right. He's true. And there's so many people. And then if you ask them, okay, Freaky Geek, can you prove it?
You know, it's always funny to me. You're right, because it's always the guys that have the anal probe done to them that are alone with just other guys. And that you have other people that are abducted. You know, they have a story. They were abducted at their house. They don't get anal probed. Anybody, but all this, it's only the guys that are always together in the forest that have the anal probe. I'm like,
they probably went to the gambling place, Atlantis, whatever, and on the East Coast, and you know they didn't want to get caught, so they said a story.
Yeah, they went to Vegas.
They went
to Vegas.
But
I'm sorry. Let me just say something real quick. Like on St. Patrick's Day a couple years ago, because I never talked about it. Not an abduction, but like when whatever that was that I sketched it is somewhere. I'm not gonna look for it, but whatever I seen, I didn't talk about it a lot because there's no proof. But that was what I experienced and I seen. Now, there's people that experience things, right? I've had weird stuff. I don't know if it was a dream or not when I was in Virginia with something pulling something out of my head at night. So I'm not trying to like crap on anybody because there are, I believe, real experiencers, and that what I'm talking about is the people that are BSers and all that. And it just, those are the people the experiencers should get mad at. Those people.
Yeah.
Not the ones that are goofing on it or this or that, because they're the ones that make this happen. You know what I mean? Because they're just full of crap. That's
they
it.
are. They're so.
And when I say they, I don't say they meaning blanket everybody. No. I believe there's people that have experienced stuff and they're abducted, or the aliens have come and they're out there. But there's just too much now with sensationalizing and like somebody said in the chat before, there's a lot of attention seekers. There's a lot of narcissists out there that need the spotlight on them.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
They are.
Lonely.
There was a guy I was listening to, and he was talking about a lot of the average stories of abduction. People always talk about when they're abducted, how dirty and how dark it was up there. And this guy's like, well, you know, if these people came to Earth, they got more advanced stuff than we can ever imagine. Do you really think they're going to come and abduct cows and people in a dirty, like warehouse type of looking things? They're going to have technology that's going to be clean. They want to distract real DNA from people. They want to distract DNA with dirty needles and stuff. And they're saying that a majority of these people get abducted. It's like they try to make a horror story out of it because people believe in more horror-looking things than a clean hospital room.
A bee,
I'm like, you know what? That makes sense.
A bee doesn't destroy the flower that he takes pollen from. A bee is clean. A bee will take care of the flower. The bee has to go back every year to get pollen from the same flower. He's not going to hurt the flower.
Yeah,
so all these stories I hear, I'm like, nah, if they were, I mean, they're taking DNA, bottom line, they're taking your information, they're moving around dimensions and whatever universes and stuff, they're just taking your DNA package deal. They're taking your little zip drive, and that's it, and they let you go. They put you back in, like fishing. You know, here's a concept for everyone's mind. Now, when you go fishing, you look down in the water, you put your line in the water, you see the fish. Now, does the fish know he's in water? Because you're looking down at him, but does he know he's in water? You know, when you pull a fish out of water, he's all, hey, what the hell am I at? You know, you put the fish in a bucket and you're going to eat him later. You're abducting the fish. You're abducting him from his environment. Yep. He doesn't even know he's in water. He don't know he's in water. No, we could be in water. We could be like fish. And they're
I think we're in a big petri dish.
Right? You know? Yeah, we're the back of the magazine, was it Toys R Us, the sea monkeys? I used to have a sea monkey. My
Hey,
dad
right.
bought me sea monkeys.
These are gonna be on the site soon. I figured, well, just before you get out of here, Eric, I want to show it. These are the little ornament things. Look, these you'll see them on the site later. Let me get my eye so it can focus. There we go.
Yeah.
See that? And then things like this one, like that.
Those are
So
cool.
these are like, yeah, they're little ornaments. That's it. And they come with the whole
Those are
thing.
awesome.
So you'll see.
Cool.
Check it out. It's called otherworldlywear.com.
Now, I'm not going to bring up the other list because we know Betty and White's on there, and we know the Villa story. I did that in one of my videos about the guy who says he had sex with aliens, or whatever.
Yeah.
But for fun, in the chat, people, this part, we're going to, right before we're in, we're going to have fun with you guys in the chat. People in the chat, I'm going to be number 1, Ron's going to be number 2, and Bob is going to be number 3.
Gotta be 3.
Who do you think out of us 3 will be abducted next? Like if they're gonna take one of us, who will they take? Will they take me? Which I've been fixed. I don't know why they want. I'm damaged goods. Will they take Ron? Very intelligent, knows his stuff, got a lot of good minds there. Or would you take the Dr. Wu, the man who's hold on, we already got one. Look, JoJo says they're gonna take Dr. Wu. Tina P says they're gonna take Dr. Wu. Rich says they're gonna take Dr. Wu. Dr. Wu is taken. So Ron,
Can I smoke on the ship?
So Ron, is this like a hit to us? Like we're not cool enough to be taken?
Shit. Can I smoke on the ship? Can I smoke a J in here?
I
Who's
just
next?
think that Dr. Wu is much
Donnie,
more
Danny.
cooler than us. So
Everybody's
that's why.
picking Dr. Wu.
I'm not cool. I'm just cold. I'm dressed warm. I'm a little hungover. And these
I
are
kid you
medical.
not. I just looked and I just seen, South Park Cartman? When I just looked with that hat, I just seen Cartman. I don't know why. And he said,
It's cold. I'm dressed warm. I'm outside. These are medical glasses. So I'm actually just looking normal. This is how I look
Roger
normally.
Blair.
no,
Another
I don't
3.
mean that in a bad way.
I know. I know. It was funny.
Nobody wants Ron abducted.
Hey.
I guess it's kind of cool in a way.
Hey, why don't you guys choose them to abduct? Why do I got to be abducted? Why do I have to have anal probed? Shoot. Every time I get abducted, I don't understand why the at the end of my anal probing, why do the aliens smoke cigarettes?
You set yourself up, Rob. Aren't you the one that were bragging that you're AB?
Oh, I'm an O negative.
Oh, you're O negative. Okay.
I'm like you. Yeah, I'm I got old blood.
So, Dr.
I'm
Wu
ancient.
might enjoy the
Oh,
roast.
he may go woo.
I'm an O negative.
More to the left. More to the left. Oh, right there.
Right there, get that spot. In this reality, I always make this joke. In this reality, I took anthropology, physical, and I took all, Eric, all that stuff. A man used to have a smaller sphincter than a female in our old reality in Sagittarius. But in this new reality, men and women have the same size sphincter, which is insane, a Mandela effect for me.
Okay.
And did you know you could fit two full-grown raccoons up your butt? I'm like, is that real? And I looked up the information. Yeah, you can fit 2 full raccoons up your butt in this reality.
Now,
So I can imagine why people get anal probed.
before we go, this is like close to the end of the year. Does it drive you guys crazy when everybody always says, they always say next year is going to be the year when it's all gonna get released.
Next year.
Every year you hear next year is going to be the year. 2024 is going to be the year the government's going to spill all beans.
They're doing a slow
2024 all year.
disclosure. A slow disclosure.
Do you guys think that's all hype, or do you guys really truly believe that 2024 might be the year that good information gets released, not stupid information?
Well, it's coming out now. I mean, it's coming out now, and they're, I'm like, the information that's coming out now is a bunch of foobar crap, but, I'm like, well, they're doing it now, so
Listen,
obviously,
None of the info to me means anything until
Nothing.
they have substance behind it. Because they're all just saying words and words and words, and it's just like, it's incredible. It's incredible. I don't think so though, and that sounds like, oh, you're being a negative Nelly. I just don't think so because, a matter of fact, we'll keep hearing things. We'll hear more and more.
More and
But
more.
I think that's all part of the hype of the more weapons and the more new technology that they create and they're testing. They're gonna definitely keep putting these stories out because they want people thinking it's UFOs flying all over the
Oh
place.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I think they're adapting to the times that social media is so much out there now. They have to go along with it because information's easy to get around now.
And they
But
know
you know,
Yeah.
when I'm talking about like
has a
everybody, like
phone.
religion, you know, next 2024 is going to be the end of the world. You know what I mean? There's always
Always the
something
end of the world.
end.
Always the
The
end of the world.
effects are all going to open wide open. The portal is going to be wide open in 2024. It's always that year, and then
Always.
it's almost like this is the year you have to watch us because it's going to happen. But then it get to that
Yes.
end of the year. Next year is going
And
to
we're
be the
gonna
year.
break the news first, folks. So
Well-
make sure you tune in and subscribe.
If you died, you wouldn't know it. And so the planet, like Ron was making shorts about these meteors are coming towards Earth. We could be hit, and you guys wouldn't know it. You don't know what death is, so you just keep. All of a sudden, everything's changed. Hey, man, McDonald's changed. All you know is everything keeps changing, but you wouldn't know if you died.
Do a reality check. Look at your fingers. If you have 6 fingers or whatever, bye.
Yeah. When my heart moved from the left to the center, and I'm like, and my intestines were all like, I barely have any intestines, and I'm like, everything's weird in my body. And I used to have the kidney, we used to do a kidney punch in the back. We put, ow, you fucking got me good. But now it's way
know
up in
what?
the inside. Whoa.
You know what? How about this? Tomorrow, right? I didn't even realize today. That's right. It's Friday.
Yeah.
If not tomorrow, maybe I'll set something up. I'll do a show. Eric, Rob, you want to come on? We all talk or whatever. I want to have a serious discussion, and it's a discussion nobody really wants to have,
Sure.
right? With asteroids, what would you do?
Oh.
Like nobody's prepared. I mean, there are preppers. There's people out there that are prepared. There's people who think they're prepared. But if something happened, that's what I want to go into because it's a lot to get into. We need to have some thought-provoking conversation because people need to be ready. When I'm doing these reports on the asteroid approaches every other day, if you notice, like 9 out of 10 are found less than a week earlier, and they're 110 feet, 400 feet. It's just a matter of time. And it doesn't have to be a 6-mile wide one that ends the Earth. It could be 1,000-footer, like Apophis, that's 1,200 foot, that will have worldwide implications, or at least for the country you're in, just change life to you forever. Like
may I have your permission to have a beer, though? May I drink beer on your show? I have to get your permission first. Can I have a beer on your show?
3 weeks ago,
if you cover it, I guess. I don't know if they have an alcohol policy. I'm sorry.
3 months ago, I just rewatched the movie. It's called Spinning the End of the World with Your Best Friend or something like that, where the meteor's coming in 2 weeks, and the guy finds love in the last 2 weeks. Kind of a cute movie.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called. Something about asteroids hitting the Earth, and they got.
Well, they have "Don't Look Up," which is really good too. I like the Leonardo. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. Yeah, don't look up. It's coming.
Don't look
beyond
up.
That, I'd love talking to you guys because what you guys say is your honest opinion, and you don't get that with a lot of people out there. And it's just so refreshing to hear honest opinions. What do you guys truly think? Because most people, if I did a show and we talk about just that fire in the sky guy, everybody's gonna say it's 100% true. You guys give your true thoughts, and you can't get that from a lot of shows.
And Travis Walton is a gay. He's gay. He went up there with them guys, and they did gay stuff. And then all of a sudden, he's abducted, and in 7 days he walks back, and doctors looked at his butthole, and they said, "Oh, you've something has probed you." And he's like, "Yeah, it was an alien."
They said an alien. The ones that tied in and came out of
Well, every time I hear guys in the forest coming back with alien stories, every one of them's been anal probe. But you ask a lady that was abducted at her house, she's like, "I don't remember no anal probe."
Well, I better end the show before YouTube ends us and all that. I'll see everybody next time on the Paranormal Highway.
Did you know that? Aliens always seem to abduct the most unremarkable humans. Despite the billions of people on Earth, it's always the most ordinary folks who claim to have been taken by extraterrestrials. Apparently, aliens are only interested in the mundane. Despite the advanced technology of alien spaceships, they still manage to leave behind plenty of evidence of their visit. Crop circles, missing time, and strange implants are just a few of the hallmarks of an alien abduction. For some reason, aliens seem to have a particular fascination with cows. It's not uncommon for abductees to report seeing or being taken to fields full of cows during their abduction experience. Maybe aliens just really like beef. Aliens always seem to return abductees without any memory of the event. It's almost like they're afraid of getting caught or sued for kidnapping. Despite the trauma that many abductees claim to have suffered, there's never been a reported case of an alien abduction victim suing their alien abductors.